Hi, friends. It's Moot Science Girl. Hello, fourth graders. I hope you had a chance to do your NASA survival on the moon because here is your answers. So, beside your answers, you're going to put NASA's answers, and we're going to talk about why they answered these because this really is a STEM. Okay, this is some critical thinking that we have. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through this. Here we go. Will you survive the moon? Here we go. Answer number 1. 2 100-pound tanks of oxygen. Now you might say, wow, that's pretty heavy. But remember, with gravity, the weight isn't the deal. But not having oxygen is kind of a big deal. So you have to have oxygen. Next, duh, you gotta have some water. Now, of course, you might be asking how you would get water because they'd have to have some sort of apparatus to get it inside your spacesuit. But remember that you can't live without water very long. You can live longer without food, but not without water. So you can't, and you're going to get really dehydrated in those spacesuits. Number 3, a stellar map. Now you might say, no, wait a minute, is this a map of the moon? Because a moon map would be pretty cool. But using the stars, you would be able to tell where you were on the moon. Then remember, if you can see everything going on, it depends on what side of the moon you're on. Okay? Food concentrate. Now this isn't a concentrate. They have like space food, and you can get space food and try some. Even you can get dehydrated food from Walmart or Meijer's down in the camping supply area. Maybe you want to try it sometime, or maybe you want to make your own dehydrated food sometimes. But you can live without food longer than water, but you're going to need to have some sort of food to be able to survive. A solar powered FM receiver transmitter. So there is solar up here to be able to communicate with whomever you need to. Okay, solar powered. So again, from the sun. Hopefully you're on the sunny side of the moon to help you out with that. 50 feet of nylon rope, right, to tie up those pesky aliens. No, the moon's surface is very much filled with craters. Wonder if you fall into one. You're going to need to have that rope so you can get over some of those craters if you fall down. A first aid kit, okay? It's going to have all the things that you need as far as injection needles for you to actually get into your spacesuits. And if you get a tear in your spacesuit, you can use some of this stuff to help patch it up. A parachute silk. Yeah, because of all the wind on the moon. No, a parachute silk is actually going to help you to protect you from the sun's rays. If you're on the part of the moon that is illuminated by the sun, it is going to be hot and you're going to need to have some sort of cover. Also, we don't have an ozone layer on the moon, and so the UV rays are going to be pretty intense. A self-inflating life raft. Remember, are you going to be rafting on the wild rivers of the moon? No way, friends. But they're going to have some sort of tank on here that you can actually use for propulsion. You know what propulsion is? It's letting it go and then scooting along, kind of like a hovercraft, except it'll be you instead. So, and if you needed to, you could always cover up with the raft. Signal flares. Okay, what you might not even know. So that's why I included a picture of like a signal flare. Again, maybe you can still, because they're self-igniting, that you can use that to contact the mothership. 2 45 caliber pistols. Now, I am not a big proponent of guns, and I know there's a picture of a gun here, but I want you to think about this for a second. This is not for hurting someone. This is for a propulsion. Again, remember, it's number 11, okay? So it's not that needed, but keep in mind that a bullet will fire out of a gun, but you have something called recoil. And so you're going to be fired the opposite way. And so there was a couple really cool videos out there if you were to fire different types of guns, how far you would get pushed back. And you could fire a bullet, and a bullet will continue to go forever because there's nothing stopping it. You could actually put a bullet into orbit. And if you're not careful, it might come back around and get you. So, not such a good idea. 1 case of dehydrated milk. Where's the cookies? This is also a food source, and gotta be honest, probably not going to try hauling that sucker around compared to the other food concentrate that we already have. A portable heating unit. Looks pretty bulky. I know it's not going to be super heavy, but you know what? If you're on the lit side or the illuminated side of the moon, you're not even going to need it. So why bother taking it? How about a magnetic compass? You know, that is something I would totally take in the woods if I was exploring nature. But you know what? That doesn't work on the moon because the moon has a different magnetism than Earth. So it's going to be useless. And the worst thing to take is probably the first thing you think about taking in the woods in Michigan, and that'd be a box of matches. Does anybody know why? Because there's no oxygen. So they're not going to light anyway. So don't bother. Okay, friends. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your score, and you're going to put the scores that I just told you, okay? And I will put this and give this to your teacher so that you can score yourself. And you decide whether you are ready for the space program or not, okay? The lower, the better. So it says for each item, mark the number of points that your score differs from the NASA ranking, then add up all the points. Disregard pluses or minuses, okay? So again, we want a very low score. Got it? So for example, if you said 15 for matches, and I told you matches was 15, the difference of 15 and 15 is 0. If you said food concentrate was 10, and NASA said 4, that difference would be 6. Does that make sense? I certainly hope so, friends. So let's see who is going to be heading to the NASA program. Hope you had a good time doing this, and I hope this piqued your interest in some of these items from the moon. Maybe you could do what would you need to survive on Mars or Venus. All right. Hope you're surviving out there in this time. See you later, science friends.